Yo, yo, yo. Now, this time, it counts because I hit record. I didn't hit record the first time. It's always something and whatnot. But I love that. I just love the rawness of podcast, and it is what it is, man. Of course, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, and this is not a particular episode, though. I got the man, the myth, the legend in the building, my man Leemo. He's going to give us a rundown about building an empire. So you think I know people. I know some people, you know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a part of the Mr. Know-It-All Knows series. So, and that is coming at you right about now.
Motion, like poetry in motion, motion. I'm like LeBron from the baseline when the score's smoking. The savior, does anybody hope in the poetry in motion? Motion, like poetry in motion, motion.
Yeah, man. So, I'm Mr. Know-It-All, and to my left is him. You him. Like honestly, you him. You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Forever grateful.
Yeah.
Forever in gratitude, man. This stage, man, sometimes just be like, yeah, you just gotta like buckle down and be like, just hear people out sometimes.
So what do you go by? All right, so now if I don't know if you really do the whole government thing.
Right.
Yeah, so what is your full-fledged business name? When you walk into a business meeting, what do they know you?
Salim Wiggins.
Gangster. Hold on.
Yeah, Salim Wiggins. I ain't afraid.
Give one of them Jones and a hand clap or whatnot.
Afraid.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to call him Leemo throughout the entirety of the interview or whatnot. But it is it's actually a good look, man, to be sitting down and talking to you. The first thing that I want to do, though, is talk to you about how grateful and happy that I am that you and your partner allowed us to kind of bring this whole experimental thing into your facility. And I'm talking about the Podcast Link live show. Our third edition is called The Empire Strikes Back, and it's on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. And it's going to be from a King's Cafe, the lovely establishment that my man over here owns. So you are co-owner?
Co-owner, yes.
Co-owner, manager?
Co-owner,
okay.
yes. Yep.
Yeah, man. I just want to tell you that before we get started and start talking about anything else, man. We really, really, really appreciate it. And the hate is strong.
It's strong, man.
Yo, they out there like, well, wait a minute, huh?
Like
y'all, y'all doing this on where?
Like how?
Yeah. Like how?
Hey, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Ain't that crazy though?
That's crazy.
I always say that. I'm like, yo, you actually gotta ask. Like you can ask, and the worst thing that somebody could do is say no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Real rap.
Right.
So. If anything or whatnot, the first thing I want to do is I do just want to, give a little rundown or whatnot, but I want to ask you some questions or whatnot. As a matter of fact, before I even get started with that, is there anything that you would like people to know about you that maybe they don't know? Humble beginnings, anything that kind of makes you who you are?
I think the thing that makes me who I am is I want to see everybody win, right? I noticed like coming up, just basically coming up, when everybody was winning, there was less stress upon everybody that was in the crowd.
Yeah, you know a lot about that.
It was less stress for everybody that was in the crowd when everybody was winning, everybody was helping each other.
Yeah.
And just building that community, like, you know what I mean? And just being that unity for the community, right? Being that glue and that unity for the community.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know what I mean? We knew of each other. We didn't know too much about each other, but y'all just asked, right? Y'all just asked.
Yeah.
And we willing and open, you know what I mean, to share the space with any and everybody because those type of things, if you don't ask, I mean, I know that's how I officially started. I was a club and party and club promoter.
Okay.
For about 20-something years, 20, 25 years probably.
Right.
And we really started it wasn't many clubs in Philly, but we really started going to the restaurants and like when we first was promoting, me and my we used to call ourselves the trendsetters back in the day.
Okay.
We really got into that, going to lounges and going to bars and, just being out and just kind of seeing how mellow it was and stuff
exactly.
like that. And we was throwing parties and stuff, and we would just ask.
Just go up to whoever the manager is and say, hey, listen.
What it look like on a Friday? What it look like on Saturday?
Oh, wow.
We can guarantee you a crowd of such and such amount of people just based off our popularity or based off us just having a birthday party.
Yeah.
And some would say no, and then some would say yeah. And then we would have the event. And the events would be so successful that they would start asking us to come back.
Right. That's how
Right?
it works. That's
So
how it works.
That's really where I got the vision from, but
Yeah.
paying attention
Right.
to the lifestyle. So now, as we doing this for the club owners and the bar owners, now we're getting invited to some of their events,
Okay.
where they're having private events, whether they having birthday parties, and or whether they having something at a barbecue at their house.
Yeah.
So now you're getting a vision, like, dang, you live like this, or this your lifestyle. You know what I mean? We was just in it for a couple of extra dollars here. and there.
Right. Exactly.
And then you see the lifestyle of the entrepreneur, the business owner, and things like that. And you like, man, I got a vision of, all right, I'm going to promote my way to be a bar owner, club owner, so forth and so on.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man, because there's a lot of, because I used to promote shows and parties and whatnot. The majority of the things that I've done was like at Legendary Dobbs joint on South Street.
yeah.
Remember, rest in peace to the Trocadero.
Yeah.
I did a lot of Jones in there, and that was kind of a thing. It was like after a while, because I was rapping at the time. So what happens is that you rapping and you just get tired. Me personally got tired of asking people to be on their shows. I'm like, dog, listen. You know what I mean? Now, at the time I was my early 30s. I said, dog, this shit ain't what it was in the beginning. Like, for real, it's not the same thing. So by the time that all that took place, and I just started approaching people and not only approaching them, but also sending emails out. You send email blasts out like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing a show. I want to do a show. They're like, well, come to find out, a lot of these places are looking for filler events in order to make things happen, because you can't have something going every week and every night of the week or whatnot. It's not plausible at all times.
Right.
So I know exactly what you mean on that or whatnot. So let's talk about, because I did a little research on you, of course, or whatnot, and the big thing that I see about kind of in your lane, what your aura consists of, is a lot of the fitness thing.
Right.
So take me through how fitness, how you began in training and things like that, and then how you shifted over or actually made that its own conglomerate with what you're doing today.
Right. So I was like I was just telling you, I was a party and club promoter. I was working full time for the city, dibbling and dabbling in the streets, and I was in trade school to get a trade under my belt. I figured that was something that nobody can snatch from me. I went to school for electrician.
Okay.
And I was just doing things the old fashioned way. So like, I'm 44 years old. So the era before us, they always told us, get a good job, go to school, do this, get a trade. It was not really too much entrepreneurship, but I got to see a little bit of it through my dad. He does he does a lot of construction, does a lot of real estate, things like that. So I got to see the best of both worlds. Like my mom, she worked until retirement. So I got a little bit of best of both worlds. But once I got the city job that everybody was glorifying. And when I really seen what they was glorifying, it like blew my mind, because they was glorifying retirement and pension plan.
Yes.
And I was 28 years old at the time when I signed up to get that city job, and I was so excited to have that city job. But when I got in those four walls, I was watching people fist fighting over overtime, backbiting, and then I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is what y'all celebrate. And then just for me paying,
that is nuts.
paying attention, man.
Right.
I watch people that's been there for 40 plus years, and I watched 9 people retire, and maybe 6 or 7 of them didn't make it past 3 years in their retirement, just dropped dead. Like, that was their only purpose. And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, right?
Yeah.
So I really started to coast because I was making money. So I was like, all right, you know what I mean? But I was burning the candle on both sides of the sticks. I was breaking down every relationship in my life because I was chasing finances, right? Damn. And I was one of those people that just had to be there to make money. I thought that's how you make money.
Right.
Get another hustle or work hour for hour to get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I had 3 kids at the time. I got 5 now. But what happened for me, it was 3 instances that my kids really showed me that I wasn't doing the right thing, right? I remember I would do all of those things, work, then go to night school, pick all the kids up from school, do all of the things, but I would like rush and pack them into like 1 hour just so I can run off and do all the things that I was doing, being selfish, right?
Right.
I remember in one instance, the kids was like, "Oh, Dad, can you go on a field trip with us?" And before I could even answer, they was like, "Oh, you probably got work." I was like, "Dang, right?"
Damn.
And then it was another instance, man. I was doing all that stuff, man, and you know, I ran to get in the shower, and I had probably like $30 in ones on the dresser.
Right.
And I got out the shower, and I came back in the room. Kids was throwing the money in the air, and they was like, "We rich." And I was like, "Damn, they don't even have a value of $1. Like, I'm chasing this," but they know the value at that time. I just wanted to do something different.
Right.
And then inside of night school, I just kept telling one of the people that I knew from around the way, we just so happened to be going to the same night school. He started working out. I'm like, "Man, I got to get with you. I got to get with you." And I kind of like just kept stalking, you know what I mean, his rhythm. Far as this one, Instagram first had the 15-second videos, and I was like, man, I really got to do something.
Right.
I thought that was the way. Like, if I just work out, I could just, you know what I mean, just feel better, because I was just burnt out.
Yeah, I've been there.
That led to, once I went on my first run. I went on my first run, and I hated the run, but I fell in love with the conversations I was having with myself on that run. I never motivated myself like that before. I never pushed myself like that before.
Right.
Automatically, if I thought I couldn't do it, like if somebody said do 10 jumping jacks and I thought I couldn't do it, I would automatically tap it like, man, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I really started to limit myself. So when I started doing some of the things that I really thought I couldn't do,
Yeah.
it was just taking me from level to level. Like, man, I thought I couldn't do 10 jumping jacks. I just did 11. That's something to celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So fall in love with those conversations. That was in 2013, and then I never knew nothing about nutrition. So I started to incorporate nutrition. I got introduced to Herbalife nutrition. And I never knew that I felt bad. I could say this because once I really started feeling good, I said, man, this is a new level unlocked.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know
like
exactly
you never
what
know
you
how
mean.
bad you feel until you really
right.
start feeling good. And I'm like, man, this is a new level
That's
unlocked.
crazy. You never know how bad that you feeling bad until you feel good.
Until you start to feel
I can
good.
imagine that, and not even like for instance or whatnot. There was a time where I was 370 pounds, and then the smallest that I got down to or whatnot, because I went through my own journey.
Right.
Was I got down to 217, and I was running. I was doing doing 5-6 miles a day. I did Broad Street Run twice.
Nice.
I did the Chesapeake Bay Bridge thing twice. Over the past couple of years, I kind of backslid and fell back. I'm on my way back, but it's it's more of a process now
Right.
because I was doing that when I was that was shit. What?
It-
That might have been like 8 years ago.
Right.
So now I just turned 42.
Right.
And now my body is, starting to feel like,
That's how
like it is when you start to get there. So it's a little bit more difficult to climb back. But I know exactly what you mean. It's like I didn't know, like even from them, like even when I put weight back on, I still was able to incorporate, specific things to kind of, to feel better.
Feel
Because
better, right,
I was feeling like a shit sandwich back then, bro.
That's
That was
how-
not a good look, you know what I'm saying? And then because you're trying to be thorough.
Right.
And I used to get so my man told me one time, and this is my man, 100 grand. He actually helped me move in here. He was like, yo, this had to be about 12, 13 years ago. And we was at Arnold's in Oak, in Oaks, PA, whatever.
with
For my
the race- the cars and stuff,
go karts for my son's birthday. The go karts on the floor.
Yeah.
My fat ass rolling around to get out the go kart.
Get out. Yeah,
bro.
had to roll out the car.
Yeah, I had to roll out the car, dog. Embarrassing as shit. And then my man hit my wife up. It was like, yo, I'm worried about him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, then I started, kind of just doing different things and whatnot, and shifting situations, and then I'm walking, and then I'm, it's the elliptical, then I'm running, and then the diet is changing, and I became obsessed with it at the time or whatnot. I never did Herbalife, but I did, I was kind of like,
Right.
into my own journey. But I mean,
You gotta hit one of those buttons for your friends, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah, you gotta hit one of those buttons for your friends. And I say that because
yeah. You might know my homie too.
I say
Yeah.
that because a lot of people don't lock in on that. Like, you know what I mean, don't hone in on that.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember when I first started, like my friends before that, right? We all, we joke on each other, stuff like that. Like I was chubby, had the dark circles around my eyes, wasn't getting no sleep, so they nicknamed me Panda, right? So that was my nickname.
Oh, damn.
Right? That was my nickname for it. So when I
Shout
really
out to your
started
friends.
working on myself,
Yeah.
a lot of the people that I was around was like, yo, you getting too small, stop, this, that, and the third. I'm like, I feel good.
That's what happened
I
to
feel
me, too.
good. I
Yep.
look good. I'm like, what y'all talking about? I'm like, y'all crazy, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I had to realize, like, they really never told me I was drinking too much. They really never told me I was getting too big. We just joked about it, things like that. But as soon as I started taking care of myself,
Yeah.
it was like, slow down, stop. And I was like, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I feel too good. I ain't going back to that. And that's how I felt. I was like, man, I'm never going back to that. And I really just started locking in on myself.
Yeah.
And once I started locking in on myself and started doing like personal development, and I noticed that the little things that was getting me upset wasn't getting me upset no more. It was like I was looking at things differently. Like,
Right.
me and my friends, we used to joke about, it was this one time we joked about how one day we was riding down Broad Street and there was a big pothole in the middle of the street. We hit the pothole, boom, bust the tire, right?
Damn.
Pull over. And we was talking about how we cursed this pothole out for about 2.5 hours. Where they go to war with people in traffic.
Right.
Because they was beeping the horn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one day we was in the car together again. And we was driving. Boom, quarter flat. Boom, I jumped out, went in the trunk. Boom, boom, we changed it. We was back on the road in like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
And I'm just driving. He was like, yo. We got to the light. He was like, yo. Remember that time we was standing on Broad Street for like 2 hours cursing that pothole out? He's like, bro, you just jumped out the car with no worries. Like, you ain't even tripped at what happened, what was in the street, why you get a flat.
Right,
you just
right.
jumped out, went in
Yeah,
the trunk,
yeah.
changed the joint real quick, and we back to where we going in 15 minutes. We just spent 3 hours.
Yeah.
We was ready to fight the traffic, this, that, and third. I was like,
Yeah.
man, you right. He's like, yeah, you on a different level. He was like, you changed.
Well, not only that and whatnot, what happens is that now what people don't realize is that the type of change that you make, some people are still in that same place, but when they change themselves or whatnot, they just change in the physical. Yours became a little bit more spiritual because you were looking at it as, people think I should stop doing it, but I'm gonna keep doing it. You were obsessed with what it was and whatnot. So that's man. Shout out to you for that. So that man. But you change. Listen, that's different, man. When you work your soul out, that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? You're changing. You know what I'm saying? You're changing from who you are from the inside out. That's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when you, after all this or whatnot, when you incorporate what you were doing with the you know what I mean, when you got involved in like Herbalife and all of that, how did you transition to that and to make it into a successful business, successful enough to say, all right, we can now follow a different path and a different dream? How did you incorporate all that together?
So I was just looking for results, right? I just wanted to feel better. And the whole time that I just wanted to feel better, I was sharing it with so many people and didn't realize how I was sharing my story. And, however you influence.
Yeah.
And I was starting to influence people. People was like, yo, you smiling different, you looking different, you feeling different, you doing things that you never done before.
Right.
You saying yes to things that you never said yes to before. And people just started buying into that. They was like, yo, I want to smile like that. And they just started handing me money. And I wasn't even a distributor at the time.
Right.
I remember how I became a distributor was I was in the club one night. One of my old head friends, he was like, yo, I can't do all that jumping around you be doing. But he was like, what's up with the Herbalife? I know it's been around since 1980. My mom and them, they used to dibble-dabble, used to see it around the house, so forth and so on.
Right.
And he was like, what I got to do? So I started explaining it to him because I was just on the products, what I was doing. I was probably down about 22 pounds at the time. And I was explaining it to him. He's like, nah, like what I need to do. And I'm still explaining. He's like, man, how much I need? I still was stuck because I'm like, I don't know, right?
Right.
And he's like, what I need? Probably like $190 for the month supply. And I was like, yeah, I was just going to take the money, get it from who I was getting it from, and just, bring it back to my old. That was my old head.
Right.
But what happened from when I went to put that $190 in my pocket, he tapped me and he was like, "Yo, they're gonna do it with me." And he got $190 from two of his friends, right?
Right.
So I'm
Right,
like,
right.
damn, right? So I'm like, all right. So I was like, I'm standing here with almost $600 in my hand. I'm like, all right, maybe I need to find out what the business opportunity about, because I'm taking the products for now 3 months, 4 months, and everybody around me, they signing up, they making money, they helping people, this, that, and the third. And they let me know they making money, but I'm like, I'm doing all these things that make money where I'm showing up to all these things, but not understanding that I'm breaking down that relationship in my life. So I'm like, all right, I knew nothing about residual income. So I signed up with their money. I ordered their products, and I ordered a little something for myself, and I remember making $182 profit that night, and I was like, this could be life-changing. And in that moment, I realized the worst thing I ever did for money was wait 2 weeks to get paid. And the reason I say, always say that, because that changed my life, because I was risking my life, my freedom, and my integrity to make ends meet on that off pay week. You know how you get paid on that Thursday and then it's spent, and then you got to wait 14 more days to know where your next meal is going to come from sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy, yeah.
So now I got to hustle, scramble,
Right.
scrape. And sometimes I walked out the door, I was like, knowing it's probably a 65 to 75% chance I might not make it back to my family, but I'm like, I'm the man of the house. I'm the financial man. I got to do what I got to do. And I was like, yo, I just made $182 just by inspiring somebody. And I didn't go to them.
Right.
Like, I didn't come to them. I didn't tell them. I wasn't even doing the business. The business actually paid me before I even signed up. And I'm like, maybe I need to look into this. And I remember hustling the products for the first month, just hustling them, because I had the upper advantage and I was getting results and things was working for me.
Right.
And I ended up profiting like $5,000, and that was life changing, because I'm like, man, it got me out of a hole from this, it got me out of a hole from that. I was back on this, so I was like, man, it just freed me up.
Right.
Now I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Freed up. The business opportunity worked. The products is working. Around a community that don't want nothing from me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm taking an hour or two a day for myself.
Right.
I've never been able to do that before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I know what
to
you're
work
saying.
on myself.
Right.
Just in working on myself, I'm attracting so much stuff that is like, I'm frazzled because I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what to do with it.
Right.
And those type of things was happening for me. And then the second life-changing thing that I had, like all the people that I sold the products to, I put their names in my phone a certain way. Like I would put their name and I would put like Herbalife behind it.
Okay.
And I remember I was like, you know what? I was sitting there bored one day and I'm like, you know what? Let me follow up with these people, see how they making out with the products. And I remember reaching out to I probably had like 45 people that I had sold products to, right? So I'm reaching out. How you making out? How you making out? How you doing? How you making out? And they're like, oh man, I feel good. This and the third.
Right.
And the one girl said, a stranger said, you changed my life. I've been trying to lose 5 pounds all my life. And I'm looking at the phone like, huh? I'm looking at the text like, wait, what?
5 pounds?
As I'm looking at the phone, I'm like, man, I lose 5 pounds, gain back 11 all the time. So I'm like, that was the first time I realized everybody don't have the same problems. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
I'm looking at the phone. I'm trying to figure out what to text back. And then the phone started ringing. She called me.
Wow.
So now I'm talking to this lady, and she like, you don't even know what I've been through. I done tried this. I done tried that. I actually feel good. I lost 5 pounds. I've been trying to lose 5 pounds all my life, blah, blah, blah. And I'm actually on the phone with this lady. She started crying. I'm crying. I'm like, I don't even know this lady. I'm like, I'm not even a crier.
Right.
And all that happened for me, and that was life-changing. She went on to lose 100 pounds. Shout out to her, right?
Damn.
But in that moment and in all of those things, she's like, man, I'm the smallest I've ever been at 40-something years old than I've been at 14 years old. She sent me a picture of her when she was 14 years old, and I was like, man.
Right.
Like, that was like, okay. I was chasing money again, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I found my purpose now. I said, no, yeah, now I found my purpose now. And then I started, chasing people, helping people, having those uncomfortable conversations with friends, having those uncomfortable conversations with people. That's why I said, big up your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was able to just in conversation and just in my journey inspire so many different people to want to make a change
Right.
and save and change their life. And I've also, over the last 12 years, I've lost some people that just sat on the sideline and watched. That just sat on the
Wow.
sideline and
Yeah.
let their pride beat them up. Like,
Yeah.
man, I ain't doing that with you. I don't know what's in that stuff. The same person, we was handing Hennessy and Ciroc back and forth, left and right.
Right.
But they didn't trust the healthy way. And I was like, that says a lot. But
What do those people say about you? Like, if anybody would ask them, this is kind of off kilter, but like it's important.
Right.
So, like, those people, that step away, because I know what it's like all the time. When you do something, you commit to something, you're always gonna have, an outlier, somebody that's actually, with it at first, or maybe, see what you're doing and don't want that direct path, and but the good ones are just like, listen, it's just not for me.
right.
But the other ones and whatnot, you can tell the shit is kind of heat. It's
Yeah.
like, all right, dog, like you don't really want to fuck with it
Oh,
because
man,
you feeling away about that.
man,
What would they say? What do they say? Let's just say you see somebody, you run into somebody, they come into King's Cafe and they're like, yo, I seen Main and this nigga was saying that you changed. Like let me ask you, like, how did, is it something like that?
Yeah, it's a lot of people like that, man. I hear it from somebody else, or I hear it from them.
Right.
How I changed, and he running around here selling protein powder, and I be like, I just look like, do you hear yourself? Like, do you hear yourself? Like, you run around here selling protein powder, and I'm like,
So
we risked our lives to sell powder. Now I get to
Exactly.
sling powder in the open now.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Different type of powder, but yeah.
So it's like I hear that type of stuff, and I be like, man, they and some of them just like, man, they see the growth, so it's like a can't beat them, join them type of thing sometimes.
Oh,
And
okay. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So it's not all bad because
Right.
I stayed true to my lane.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
And they know that's who I am. Like, if I'm serious about something, stay true. There's nothing you can do to like take me off track of what I feel good on, or
Boom.
what I
Yep.
like. You know what I'm saying? There's not like a lot of. I could never be peer pressured into something that I really didn't want to do. So it was more so.
right.
So it was more so like they just watched. Some people came along.
Right,
You know what I mean? After hating so much, and then some people pride never let them come along, and then there's some people that's not here no more because of unhealthy lifestyle. You know what I mean? Just an unhealthy lifestyle.
Oh, it's true. It is so true.
We call it death by fork.
Oh my
You know what I mean? We call it death by fork. There's a lot of people.
boy, I'm trying to tell you. Listen, you know what I mean. Like, and now, listen, I already know because I've had. You talking about uncomfortable conversations? I've had uncomfortable conversations with people after the fact. Like I'll see a picture of myself and be like, "Oh, y'all niggas wasn't gonna tell me that I look like that?
Hey.
You wasn't gonna tell me that I was on that type of time? Like real rap. Like, even I know now that even when I spark up and get things going the way that I want to now, and I drop the way that I want to now, I'm gonna look back and I'm like, oh, y'all just wasn't gonna say shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes people don't, you know what I mean? They don't know, or maybe it's just not their, maybe it's just not their thing. They feel as if you're comfortable where you are. I'm just glad that I had that one friend that's like, no, I don't give a fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, nah, dog, that shit ain't cool. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's how I am now. Like,
Yeah.
I take it so serious because I'm willing to help. Like, I'm a rag on you, but I'm willing to help. Like, yo, you gotta get together.
So let's talk your tangible success, man.
Right.
Like, you ain't got to give, anything that's off limits, say whatever, whatnot. But let's talk tangible success. So to the way that you was able, and I want you to tell me exactly what you did in order, the plan that y'all came together to open up a King's Cafe.
Yeah, so shout out to my partner, Chad Williams.
Chad, shout out to Chad.
Yeah, he was actually doing Herbalife with me, right?
Okay.
We actually went to high school together. He was 2 years ahead of me in high school. We knew of each other.
What high school y'all go to?
I went to George Washington. We went to Washington.
Okay. All right. My son went to Northeast. So
Okay, yeah. So we actually went to school together, but you know what I mean? We was from two different neighborhoods.
Right.
And we end up clicking back up in Herbalife.
Right.
He came along through somebody else in Herbalife, but we also used to work out together and things like that, see each other at the meetings. And he had owned a breakfast store on Ogans Avenue before we opened King's Cafe.
What was it called?
Aunt Esther's, Miss Esther's Breakfast.
That's the it was across from the
Yeah, right,
from
like,
That
right next to the library.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
there was-
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
that? The
All
pizza-
right.
The
Yeah.
pizza place, the library, it was
Yeah.
all right there.
Okay. Got you.
So he was into that, but he wanted to do something different. So he came to me for about 8 months strong, right? He had actually, shout out to him, he had lost 50 pounds in Herbalife. I was doing the same thing. So we would cross each other's paths. Like when we have events, we'd go to the breakfast store, things like that.
Right.
So he came to me and another one of our guys about the idea of doing a restaurant. So just how negligent I was inside of that space. Like I was working on myself and it felt good to work on myself.
Right.
But he kept coming to me to start the restaurant part. So King's Cafe, 218, the bar and all that wasn't even a thought.
Right.
So now I'm 2008, 17, 18. So I'm about 3 years, 4 years into working on myself, Herbalife,
Right.
everything. So he like, yeah, let's do this. He sat down with a whole plan.
Right.
Now, I'm like, all right, cool, right? And I'm like, the money, and I'm like, you know what I mean? I never been like an entrepreneur, an investor, that type of thing. And I'm like, the money is coming in from Herbalife like crazy. So I'm like,
Right.
as the money coming in, I'm spending more money. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like
got that nice little
I'm
well
not-
going.
not
Got the
sit-
whip.
Yeah, it's like all kind of things going on. So
Right,
I'm like,
right.
you know what? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. So I turned them down actually for about 8 months. I
Wow.
turned them down for about 8 months in
Yeah.
2017 for about 8 months. Turn them down. But as I'm working on myself, all of these things is popping up.
Yeah.
And then somebody, for my success inside of Herbalife, somebody asked me to host their vision board party. Now, I remember making my first vision board, and I remember I was just like riding around with it in the trunk, right? I'm like, oh man, matter of fact, I'll host it.
Right.
I mean, what you want me to discuss? What you want me to talk about? And he like, yeah, I just want you on the panel. I want you to just talk about, your success, like your growth, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go, I'm looking for my vision board. I find it in the trunk, up underneath the spare tire somewhere. Right? So as I pull it out,
Right.
I'm like, wow, right? So I'm checking things off.
Right,
Check,
right,
check,
right.
checking things off. I'm like, man. And then top smack dead in the right-hand corner, I must have cut it out of a magazine. It was like a black restaurant owner. He was like standing over like the patrons. He was like talking to the patrons. And it was like black business. I forget the name that was out, but I actually cut the name out. I think it was something like
Black
more,
Enterprise or
yeah,
whatever.
it was like
something
more
like-
black-owned businesses, this,
okay.
that, and the third, so
Right.
forth and so on, black-owned restaurant, whatever it was. But I
Right,
cut
right.
that out,
Yeah.
and then I cut the picture that was actually in the magazine, and I remember pasting it on there. And I looked, I'm like, damn, I've been running from what I asked for the last 8 months. So the vision board party was in December of 2017.
Right.
By February of 2018, we had the restaurant open.
Damn. Okay. And where
Just
was that?
from
Where,
that decision,
where was that located?
That was in the same location
same
that
location.
he had the breakfast store.
Got you.
So we was there for 2 years, and then 2019 came around, and we was going to switch over to takeout. So
Okay.
I used to get my hair cut right there at our Broad in Stanton, and then the space right across the street became available. I used to see it right out the door as I'm getting my hair cut. I seen the sign going up.
Right.
I seen them put the sign up. So for months I had to see that, and I was like, you know what? I was like, space right here, right? So I called him one day. I'm like, I'm sitting outside. I'm like, I'm about to call a number, see if we can get this space. We got the space. We ended up getting the space. Boom, boom, boom. And I think it was December of 2019 or January 2020.
January 2020.
January 2020.
COVID.
We get the space.
Yeah.
And the whole world shut down.
Ooh, man, that's what I was saying. You said that. I'm like, oh, bro.
Listen, the whole world
Yeah,
shut down.
yeah,
So
man.
we couldn't even get no contractors in there.
Yeah.
Couldn't do none of this stuff, right? So you know what we did? We went in there, we painted ourselves. I sheetrocked the whole front of the joint by myself. I had my dad. He came and wiped it out, capped it up. Damn. And I started doing the floors and stuff in the back. And as soon as we finished all the labor, the health department came out.
Yeah.
Got our health department date, and they was like, it's safe to say everybody can do takeout. And I was like, okay, God is working.
Right.
I was like, God is working, right?
Right.
And that was a perfect location,
Right.
perfect corridor. It was successful through that stream of COVID.
Right.
Everybody was doing takeout.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things, and it was just like, man,
Takeout was massive.
it was massive.
Oh, I know it
one
was.
One of the things that he always loved. We went out and we was able to buy a food truck. We ended up getting a food truck.
Okay.
Got the food truck, right?
Right.
Got the food truck wrapped. Was about to start the food truck thing. And God was like, nah, bigger. And when I remember we went and picked up the food truck from getting it wrapped.
Yeah.
And he called me and he was like, yo, the lawyer just called me about a liquor license. And I'm like,
Whoa.
I'm like,
Hold on. Shout out to that for a second and whatnot. But all right, so let me ask you a question before you even
slow down.
Yeah, but no, because I
It was
really
happening. Like,
Oh, that is nuts. That is nuts.
it
So
was happening.
now let me ask you a question. Did this place did it have the liquor license attached to the building before then? Because I already know what it's like in PA.
No.
So how does one just get the call out the blue where the lawyer is like, yo, all of y'all doing, I can find y'all a liquor license.
Just like that.
Just like that. Just out of nowhere.
Shout out that 2020.
That is insane.
He's like, man, listen, you got the opportunity to get the liquor license. And I took a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know where I was gonna get the money from.
Right.
I was like, man, I don't even know where I'm gonna get the money from, but I said yes. I said, let's do it. That was my exact words. I said, scared as a brick, staring off into space.
Right.
I was on the phone, and I said, let's do it.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, let's do it. And man, when I tell you, for that 1 year, it was like, all right, now we gotta find a space. We was like, all right, let's make that official.
Right.
Boom. They was like, we need this. It was like, and then they gonna just need this by time closing come. Y'all got about 6 to 7 months for closing on a liquor license. 6 or 7 months on closing for the liquor license. I was like, here we go.
Right.
But it was like, these are the things that I was asking for, and God was working so fast that I was like, man, if I would have said no to anything,
Yeah.
he'd have been like, oh, you ain't ready.
See, and that's that's the funny thing.
And
about
I wasn't ready. I thought.
No,
I thought.
Yeah, but See, no. You know what I mean? You plan for whatever you plan for. God plans
It don't
for a whole
look. It
different
don't
thing.
look how you think it's supposed to look
At all.
Sometimes you just gotta be like,
At all.
Yes.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta be like, let's do it and figure it out. Like
Right.
things are going to get hard. Things you're going to get struggle.
Yeah.
You want to be able to lift 315 pounds. You ain't just going to go out there and just lift it.
Right,
At some
right.
point, you're going to have to keep going, fighting that resistance, keep fighting that resistance in the gym until you get there.
Right.
That's why you see people celebrate when they lift the weight one time. Is because of all the work they put in before that.
Yeah.
Get to that
Right,
point.
to get to that. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? To get to that point. So it was like, man. And I didn't know. And then all of these things started happening. And then my sponsor inside of Herbalife, she goes on the internet and announces she got cancer.
Oh, wow.
So now it's like,
yeah.
your why's change.
Yes.
So a lot of people come out and be like, oh, my kids is my why, or
Right,
my wife,
right.
my husband, my family is my why.
Yeah.
But sometimes if your kids don't want for anything, it's not gonna make you move.
There you
It's not gonna make you
go.
move
Right, that's
because
true.
it's like
yeah.
that's rich. Like you
Right,
wealthy right there in and there. My
right.
kids not asking for nothing. They satisfied. They get what they want off whatever I'm doing right now. So I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So when something come to shake your world up, you got to look at it different. Like, dang, like she does this full time. She does Herbalife full time.
Right.
She showed me business. She
Yeah.
changed my life because I didn't do. I just brought the people. She taught them the business.
Right.
That was our plan.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we was hitting 6 figures inside of Herbalife, and I'm like, man.
Oh, shout out to don't glaze over that. Don't glaze over that.
And I was like, man, like just
Yeah.
making it happen. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just, like the community, the size of the community was growing so rapidly, and so
Right.
many lives was changing inside of the community of us just chasing people.
Right,
When we
right.
turned around, the money was hunting us down. And I'm like, this is crazy, right? And when she went and announced that, and she was like, don't get into the F cancer thing. Like, she didn't want to tell anybody, but she just was
Right.
like, phew, like, I got to let it out. Like,
Yeah.
like I didn't even want to tell. I got to
Right.
tell everybody
Tell
at the
everybody,
same
right.
time type thing.
Yeah.
So my why changed,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew she wasn't going to be able to move how she was moving.
Right.
So I was doing so much inside of the business to have my best season yet inside of the business. And
Mm-hmm.
inside of that, I was able to accumulate the income through Herbalife, and
Right.
through working and things like that, that I was able to accumulate the income to be ready for what was coming down to the last dollar. Like I went into grand opening at 0. Damn. Like I went into grand opening at 0. Like that's how much I was sweating. Like this has to work. I went in the grand opening.
Right.
Like,
Now let me ask you a question. Were you worried that it wouldn't work, or were you just worried that like, all right, the quicker I can make
I was
this
there
money?
now.
Yeah, it's there.
It's like,
yeah, but the quicker I can make this
can't-
money back, the better right now. Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
I got the opportunities. I got the opportunities now. Like
Right.
I got to do what I do best.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to market this venture
Yeah.
to the best of my ability because I don't cook.
Right.
So that's the
Right.
reason I turned it down for so long. And so many people kind of like didn't have the vision for me because of that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's
They
always
didn't
a
know
yeah.
me. Yeah, they didn't know me. Like, you don't cook.
Yeah, right,
You
right,
ever
yeah,
cook? Like,
right.
We ain't never seen you boil hot dogs. Like that
Right.
was like when I was sharing it with people. Like,
Right.
yo, I got an opportunity, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just need some advice. What should I do? So that's the reason I turned it down for 8 months
Right.
because I'm like,
No.
so many people gave me that as a response that I was like, I gotta just be quiet. Like, and I was just
Yeah.
I was going to the people that I know that I can get a response from, an answer from, and I was just like,
Sometimes you just
restaurant.
yeah.
And then some people was like, a restaurant? All right.
Yeah.
And then so many people was like, yeah, that thing only lasts about 3 years. And I'm like, y'all ain't helping.
But see, sometimes what you gotta understand, and it's just
Yeah, and I was
anything that
fresh,
you do.
yup.
Yeah, you fresh in it, and sometimes it sucks because you want to have that support
Yeah, you
system,
want
somebody that's saying, and sometimes you want it to be particular people,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it's not. Like unfortunately, it just it ain't always the person that you want it to be
Right.
that's giving you that type of love. So look, now you're at the precipice of the grand opening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You ready to get things popping. Now, when was this? This was what year?
This was we on year 3.
Yeah,
So that was 2022.
2022 or whatnot.
March.
Right.
March of 22.
So you open it as, and you already had branded it as a King's Cafe at the time?
Yeah, it was a King's Cafe already.
Yeah.
On Ogans and on Broad and Stanton.
Right.
When we moved here and added the liquor license and things like that.
Right.
Which is the address, which is 218.
Yeah.
Just added the 218.
218. Got you.
So we just
Okay.
added a King's Cafe 218 to
Right.
that.
Yeah.
To switch it up, rebrand it a little bit.
So are the other locations still in operation?
No.
They're not. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
we
you
brought everything over.
brought everything over to
we had Ogans and Stanton open at the same time.
Right.
And then we had Stanton. We was gonna keep Stanton and because it was takeout, so we was gonna keep Stanton
I see
and
what
do
you're saying,
something over there. But then the building started giving us a bunch of problems, and then just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it wasn't far from each other, so we just switched everything
Switched
over.
everything over there. So
here.
when did you know? Because like I'm gonna be honest with you or whatnot, just to, being in the age range that I'm at right now, and whatnot, like seeing what it is not even just the business, but as far as like, where, entertainment, putting parties together, shows, you know what I'm saying? Just having things there going on, like even your karaoke night is
Right.
is crazy or whatnot. When did you know that, oh shit, we on to something?
I would probably say, because of taking a risk of going big. A lot of people that was like, man, y'all went big, like y'all went pretty big, like it's a big space.
Right.
But I was like, I have to, because I don't want to cap off, like put myself in a small box.
Okay.
Like I've set so many small goals and hit them that I be on cruise control a lot.
I see what
Like
you're saying.
beforehand, like so many times, like you'll set a small goal, like, oh man, if I can make an extra 5,000 a month,
Right.
that'll, you know what I mean? That'll do what it do, and then you hit it, and you be like,
all right.
what
But
now?
so
Like,
so
you know
this
what I'm saying?
one,
It'd be like,
so
you know what I mean?
So what you're saying is that you kind of base this premise off of feeling like you got something because it's a constant challenge,
Right.
to
And
keep- to
then
keep
it's a
moving with.
constant
Yeah.
challenge, and then it'll always give you purpose, right? It always give you purpose and something to chase. A lot of people get stuck, right? At something that they fall in love with. Like somebody will get something and fall in love with it.
Right.
But it's actually something bigger out there for you
Absolutely.
because of the discipline that you put in
Right.
to get that one thing. So it's
Makes
like,
sense.
all right, you might have put 5 years into getting this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you might hit a ceiling on this thing, but it's a comfortable ceiling. But it's so much more out there for you that now once you get here, right?
Right.
And you get to coasting is only but so much before you start going back down.
Right,
There's no
agreed.
more room to grow. So now it's like you bumping your head on the ceiling now. So it's
True.
now you in a minute you're gonna be burnt out.
Mm.
In a minute you're gonna be burnt out.
Man.
So I was having a vision of going big and constantly moving and constantly developing that, all right, yeah, this is my business.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't want to have to get in the kitchen.
There you go. Right.
I don't want to have to get in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Some people look at it like, man, I'm a grip it and grab it and do this and that and that.
Yeah.
But if I'm in the kitchen, I can't grow the business.
There you go.
If I'm buckled down one day where I'm to the fact of I can't respect or can't get nobody to work, and you think that I'm gonna be a bartender, I'm
Right.
gonna be a bartender, right?
Yeah.
And I can't get out and grow the business.
Yeah.
So it was just so many things that I was looking at to the point where it's like, I don't want to lock myself behind the bar. I don't want to lock myself in the kitchen. Like, I want to be able to expand it and grow it, whatever it is.
So there's something that I call the black wall, and the black wall consists of, and this is something I made up a while ago. You know what I mean? It's the figurative, literal term that black people use in order to divide their finances and what they want from the rest of the world. It's like when it's like that secret shit. Like everything that's secretive or whatnot, like the reason why everybody in the when black people go out to eat, everybody is looking like I only had chicken fingers when the bill come.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like that
right.
that type of thing that drives other people crazy. There's a wall up there because, you know what I mean, like we prideful, so you be down to your last. And so one of the reasons why I see that a lot of black businesses fail is because you have people like yourself that want to do that probably don't. Yeah, you're right. You can't boil water. But, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, like, listen, I want to make this pop. I got to get back there in the kitchen.
Right.
Rather than just having the wherewithal to say, you know what, let me slow down. You know what I'm saying? Let me, find people, get out there, put the job on, Indeed or whatever, whatnot. You know, do what it takes in order to get qualified people around me in order to help the business grow. Yeah. Like I said, because I didn't, like, you know what I mean? When I saw y'all, you know what I'm saying, Will Smith, dog, I know you ain't make them salmon egg rolls.
At all.
I know y'all wasn't back there cooking that. But let's talk about that for a second and whatnot. Then we can almost get ready.
That's the thing like you. Like, I had the heart to ask, right? I reached out in the DM to one of the people at the radio station. My man Ant, right?
Okay.
We didn't know each other from a can of paint, but I knew one of his coworkers.
Right.
And I seen he be doing, like, you know what I mean, the food from the streets type thing.
Yeah.
I reached out to him. I'm like, yo, we want to bring y'all lunch one day, whatever, on one of your shows, whatever.
Right.
Feed the station. They told us how many people. We was like, all right, cool. Gave us a date, gave us a time. We went up. We fed them, right? It's a good experience. We got to meet everybody.
Right.
We knew a few people already. Some of the people that worked there already frequent the bar.
Right.
So, you know, that happened. So that was the second time we did that.
Okay.
So on the Will Smith thing, they actually reached out to us and was like, I might got something for you. And called me and was like, man, I might got something I know you'll love. I'm like, man, get to it, right?
Right.
He was hyping it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what you got? Like, get to it.
Right.
Like, you think you gonna be available this date? Like, he was giving me the dates and the time. I'm like, what you got? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But he was like, how would y'all like to cater for about 30 people and Will Smith? I was like, what? I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That is
And
insane.
he was like, man, this is going to be a little bit more different. I'm going to email you this. You got to sign this, that, and the third. And I was like, man, send it, sign it.
Right.
You need me to come up there to sign it. You know what I'm saying? But just to be able to, like, who Will Smith is for Philadelphia, right?
Absolutely.
I don't care. I don't care what he did or how he give back or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But what he has been showing us and how he's been putting on for Philadelphia since the beginning of time.
You ain't never
Since
lied.
I've been around.
Yeah,
one
me
of
too.
the greatest icons of our era. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what? To be able to get around that type of energy was like a no-brainer for us.
Wow.
It was like a no-brainer for us.
Yeah, man, that was a point of pride or whatnot, knowing that it's crazy because when I seen it, when I was like, oh, I know them niggas. I said, I know them. You know what I'm saying? And like, I know them and they know well now. I said, look at that and whatnot. Now, did he eat the food? Now, did he have a nice little plate?
I don't think Will had a plate.
Don't have a see. That be the thing about the actors.
I don't think he got a plate.
Because the actors, man, they diets be really, really wonky, especially when they live in L.A.
They ain't leave a crumb though.
Yeah, I know they did. I know everybody else went crazy.
Yeah, they went crazy. They ain't leave a crumb. I was like, damn, they reached out to us for a reason.
That's what's up.
It's like, yeah, that's love, man.
That's what's up.
To show up and perform in that type of, and be able to market the business. Like that's what I love about it. To be able to open it up and help others, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even just with staff alone, we probably staff 30 people. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
that's
30 people around the clock.
Yeah.
Probably 40 at times. You know what I'm saying? To be able to have jobs, been able to have stable jobs for the last going on 7 years. We've been open since 2018, right?
Over that, bro. That is a wave right there.
It's
man.
the third year for 218. So this we're in our third year for 218.
Yeah.
But that's just a blessing all in everything. You know what I'm saying? To even hit the 3-year mark, you know what I mean? Where a lot of people, and it's on the uphill. Like, you know what I mean?
It's on the uptick. It's only climbing. Yeah, man.
So it's on the uphill, so it's steady climbing. So I mean I can't say it didn't start out easy.
Right.
We had no knowledge of the business.
Right.
We learned as it was going.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. A lot of people be trying to be perfect. And I just want to say to everybody, man, if you got ideas, if you want to do something,
right,
just say yes and
absolutely
just figure it out. Like I promise you'll figure it out and going. Like a lot of people be having emergency funds for when things go wrong. And I can almost guarantee you 9 times out of 10, your emergency fund is going to be needed for an emergency fund.
Wow.
So a lot of people save for problems. 9 times out of 10, when you ain't got the money for a problem, figure it out.
That's crazy.
When it's emergency, you figure that out.
That's crazy.
You save for it.
Yeah.
Save for a problem, that problem
That is,
happens
but
down
that's
to the
nuts.
dollar.
Right, that's nuts that you say that and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because the majority of things, people actually do that and whatnot. Because the funny thing about it, you notice that when people save, they'll do things like, all right, this is my life savings and this is savings for a vacation. So
Right.
you're saving to go have a ball,
Right.
but that other money ain't
invest.
to be, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything with that. That's just
Right.
the money. Like you said, when it's problems, yeah, when a blown tire happens, this, that, and the third. Man, I remember being down to my last broke on a blown tire. I'm like, what? Yep.
Figured it
Yeah,
out.
man, I figured it out. You got to figure it out, man. That's kind of the name of the game. So you got the streaming service coming out, man. Talk to me about the streaming service. I know you just made the announcement, and I'm
Oh
glad.
no, that was a friend of mine. That was a friend of mine. She's got she's having a launch party.
Oh, she's having a launch
she's
party.
having
So it's
a
not
launch
something
party.
directly involved
No,
with what y'all
no,
doing.
no.
Okay.
She just dropped off an invitation. Shout out to Vicky, right?
Okay.
They having a launch this Saturday on the 19th for their streaming company.
Okay.
So shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Yep.
Man. That is a vibe, man. So cool. So we don't have to, elaborate too crazy on that and
Yeah.
whatnot. I had something. I had I do this shit all the time, man. A quick video or whatnot that I want you to hear.
Okay.
You might have already seen it.
Right.
You might have seen it or you might have heard it, or it's something already. Let me see here. Thought I had, let me see. So, hold on, let me find it. Jeez, what in the world? And I just had it on there. You have something, you pull it up or whatnot. Good thing it's not live, because I can just cut this little part. I could always do that or whatnot. Let me see here. I think this is it.
Us. Oh, I'm black. Oh, black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit. Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material of your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby. Yeah. Well, fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them deals where the fuck I want to spend it at. Grab his Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the #1 nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary.
Watch.
I make millions, and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto. Us.
So, let's chat about this for 1 second. 5 minutes of your time, and I'll let you go. You know what I mean? I know you got the
We here.
karaoke joint popping and whatnot.
Shout out to Tay and Rock.
Uh-huh.
Karaoke.
So, there's been a little bit of backlash from this, but there's also been people that can kind of identify.
Right.
So, just as a business owner, as a black business owner, as a successful black business owner that kind of does some of the things that he talks about and whatnot. You know what I mean? You provide the food, you provide drinks, and you provide the vibes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some of the things that he was saying is service business type talk. What do you feel about what he's saying? Like, should he have went into it a little bit more gingerly, or should he have given that
he
bottom
gave
line basement dollar shit?
He gave it to it just as he's supposed to, because a lot of people do fall back and depend on that business tactic.
Wow.
Support black businesses. Because why I say that is because even when I'm out supporting black businesses,
Yeah.
I would be at somebody else's bar. I'm not work. I have to work.
Right.
And I would have multiple people come up to me and be like, "What you doing here? Don't you got your own bar?" And I would be looking at them like, I can't support nobody else.
Right,
So I'm
right.
just supposed to sit in my bar and work all day.
Right.
And handle when I'm sitting in there, whatever problems arise,
Right.
they coming right to me.
Exactly.
Right? So they
Right,
coming
right.
right to me, whether it's a food problem, a drink problem, an ignorant problem, or a bartender not feeling good problem.
Right.
And I'm in there happy as can be.
Right,
I'm
right.
in there floating. Don't know nothing. Don't know what's going on.
Right.
And I gotta handle that problem.
Absolutely.
So sometimes I go visit. I got friends that own bars.
Yeah.
I'm out building relationships with different bars.
Right,
Like
right.
all of that is intentional. Like all of that is intentional because obviously they don't want to be at their bar sometime too because they come visit us, so forth and so on. And it's a community thing. I know how hard business is, period. So if I'm in the city and I know small business alone, I'm going to get out there and support that small business.
Absolutely.
Right? And I'm going to have that hard conversation with a lot of people. A lot of people sit back and do perform behind black business come support black business comes. Why you over there, this, that, and third doing this?
Yeah.
Everybody can accept and understand energy. Like your energy got to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can have the best food. You can be the best chef, graduated top class, but if your marketing and things ain't on point, you ain't got the staff, and you trying to wear all the hats, you trying to manage the place, cook, run it, market it, and do all of the things, you obviously going to need a break. Yeah. And if you don't take the break is going to make you take it, and that's going to dig in your pockets.
What do you think about people that kind of just they have the I don't even want to say the audacity. You know what I mean? Most of the time they just have the gall to say that because you're black in black business, you should support black business first as opposed to maybe the service factor of it. Like if let's put it like this, you keep frequenting this spot, you may not even like to frequent the spot, but you frequent it because it's black business. Right. Some people feel like that's the blood oath of being a black person within black business.
But I feel if you do that, if you do that, you got to be able to have the uncomfortable conversations with that business. So if you that much invested in that business, and you might not necessarily express yourself, especially if you somebody with power. Right. Like if you somebody that's doing something that's actually in action. Okay. If you could say, yo, I come here, I like this place, I frequent this place because it happens for me all the time. I like this place, I frequent this place, but this, that, and the third. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's respect.
You know what I mean? I'm just, you know what I mean? Instead of like, or you know what I mean, just fleeing the situation. So if you invested in it, right, I would definitely pour into it. Like
that's not, you know, it's funny that you say that because I think that's to me. So we had essentially when I was talking about a little bit of the hate that goes along with it or whatnot, because you talk about, well, yeah, the closed mouth don't get fed, right? So let's just say, I look at it and say we do the show and the show is a hit, and y'all come up there was like, yo, we got to do some more of them Jones. Cool. That's great. That's essentially kind of what you're saying. You're talking about investing in, you know what I'm saying? We're investing into y'all, your spot as a comfortable, great place in order to do the show. Y'all investing in us as people that bring a crowd in and actually do a good thing. And then, you get the drinks flowing, people buy the food, and that's exactly what it is. It's business for business.
It's relationships.
The problem with it is that a lot of people, that's not their frame of thought. Right. They're very, very steadfast on this is what it need to be because this is what it's supposed to be. Right. Rather than doing what makes sense. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We do that a lot, man. We do that a lot
because you got people that want. It's a lot of people that want instant gratification. Right. And I know we don't have the rest of our lives to do things, right? Yeah. But if you operating in a good space, some things is going to be for the long haul. Some people just be like, all right, since we doing this, we doing that. Instead of building a relationship, we want everything right now. Right. We want the microwave results. You know what I'm saying? Where it can be a situation in a crock pot where you can see something substantial over time. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Where you can see something substantial where it can grow to the point where it just so happens that you built a relationship with that situation where that situation is good. Now all these relationships are coming together. Right. All right, now y'all having the podcast in Wells Fargo Center. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, dang. These dudes been good. I seen y'all been having a good relationship with these dudes. All right, we can no longer have it at King's Cafe. We got 1,000 people now. Right. We gotta go to the Met. Yeah. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? No, so now it's like, all right, we gotta go to the Met. Right. You know what I mean? So now we at the Met and we like, yo, what's up? The catering. And y'all like, oh yeah, y'all.
Yep, you already know.
Y'all can follow us. Come on down. So now it works for everybody. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Now it works for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's just one of those things where people don't understand the relationships that you build. and you keep a good name,
Right.
and you stay on the same page, and you know you'll do what you agreed to do, and don't care who gets the credit, everybody wins in that situation.
Shout out to that.
You know what I mean? Everybody wins in that situation.
So, lastly, over I hate to say 5-year plans. Let's just say over 2 years. Over the next 2 years, what are your goals? What are your goals for, you know, just as a black entrepreneur, as a black businessman? You know what I mean? Just you know, building upon success. What are the goals? What are you looking to do in particular?
So, I got some unfinished business as far as the food truck.
Okay.
So, right now we're operating King's Cafe, and we're operating, you know, we got an event space, Germantown Social Space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, both of those been doing good, and they right on the same lot, so that's
Right.
been good.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're trying to get the food truck up and out before summer start.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's a mission of ours right now for
Yeah.
us, getting that up and on the road,
Mm-hmm.
creating more jobs for somebody, you know what I mean, for, you know, for our community and things like that.
Right.
You know, attending more events and getting the brand out there more and more.
Right.
So that's one of them, and also like in the near future, or another one of my big goals is a concert space.
Woo! Shout out.
That's definitely
Yeah.
in the plans. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely want to do a concert space. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So I mean, that's see, it's funny, man, because when I look at you and I say, you know, when you say that this is what you want to do and you're looking forward in order that, so you have a tendency now to make your dreams into reality. Like
Right.
when you dream and you're basically future planning for goals that you want to set. So when you're saying it, listen, yeah, man, I got one of the most popping, you know, hot spots in the city. You know what I'm saying? We got a great, great show venue. You know, it's attached to it. Yeah, I'm just looking to build upon that and make concert space. That, to me, when you say that, that's kind of a foregone conclusion. So if you know what I mean, it's already a go. So I'm just waiting for it to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for it to happen because it's
First
just
time I put it in the universe.
yeah,
Too, so
and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean, you got a track record of, you know what I mean, of making it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why it's been a pleasure talking to you about that, because you know, a lot of times the things that I need, I've been up and down, back and forth, but I've always been consistent. You know what I'm saying? And
that's all it takes.
yeah, that's really all it takes. So, you know what I mean? I want to thank you. And if nobody has told you, you know what I mean, which they probably have already, we are very, very proud of what y'all putting together. And
that,
not only that, the just still being accessible.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times what happens is that people, you know what I mean, the moment that it goes up,
Right.
that Wizard of Oz curtain closed real quick. Like, yeah, well, you can only really catch him between the hours of 4 and 4:09. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that, I don't know what to tell you. They be disappearing. But that's a good look, man. It's just, you know, just to stay grounded and whatnot, and what goes on with the city. And then, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, we appreciate you,
Definitely, I
man.
appreciate
yeah,
it,
man.
man.
Shout out to you, man. Leemo.
She already there, May 4th, man.
Yeah, man.
4th.
May 4th Podcast Link Live Show, man. Get with us on IG at Mr._KnowItAll_pod. The Facebook fan page, Mr. Know It All Podcast fan page. Mr. Know It All Podcast on TikTok. And please, as always, send all of your fuckery, duckery, and schmuckery over to my Gmail account at MrKnowItAllPod@gmail.com. Make sure you get with us on TikTok and on IG as well with Podcast Link Live. Yeah, and check out my man over at the King's Cafe 218. Oh my goodness, listen, the vibe all the time, all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm so pissed off that I missed the Eagles party. That Super Bowl party looked like, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Because when I seen it, I thought the shit was like in Vegas.
For real?
It looked insane. Like I'm like, yo, it looked crazy in there.
They let us party too, man. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Y'all let us party. We ain't have no worries.
No worries the entire
Nobody was
time.
biting their nails. Nobody was sitting on the edge of their seat. We was partying.
Crazy,
man.
crazy, crazy. Man.
Sheesh.
Shout out to that, man. And sooner or later, or whatnot, you already know. The Eagles are, a lot of the Eagles are into, you know, finding hot spots or whatnot. They'll be.
Oh, we around.
Yeah,
Oh, that's love.
They'll definitely be in there or
That's
whatnot.
love.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, this episode has been fun. On behalf of myself, Mr. Know-It-All, my man Leemo, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, man. Y'all be safe out here. I'll at you later. Peace.
Peace.
Well, you shouldn't be such a smart mouth, Mr. Know-It-All.